Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum neuen Video von mir. Wir reagieren auf ein Video von WUNBA. Lasst sehr gerne auf das Video ein Like und bei WUNBA auch gerne ein Abo da. Ist in der Videobeschreibung verlinkt. Wir gehen rein. Let's go.
This is Aikenwood, my 7,000-day hard
Das ist schon krass,
7000
7000
Tage. I've
Tage.
done some pretty insane things, and recently I decided that I would travel to the world border, over 30 million blocks away. That is going to require a bunch of items, most importantly paper, gunpowder, elytras, and iron. So today we're going to try to get the first of those items, the paper. I'm going to attempt to set a world record for the largest ever sugarcane farm that can produce over 54,000 sugarcane per hour.
Das sieht schon cool aus.
Well, first off, we need a design for the farm. There's several types of sugarcane farms. Some use flying machines, while others use pistons. Flying machine farms might seem like the better option because they can be expanded infinitely, but when you unload the chunks, they can break, and then you need to fix them. Plus, the storage would require hundreds of hopper minecarts, and that would just be a nightmare. Because of those reasons, I decided to build a piston-based farm, because these will never break and they work very well. After searching the internet for a little while, I found a really compact design by Tangotech. It's cheap to build, looks really cool, and most importantly, it's expandable. Here is one module, and here is 1,000 modules. This farm here has 16,000 pieces of sugarcane growing and makes about 54,000 sugarcane per hour. Now all we need to do is collect the items and build it. Except there are over 127,000 blocks to collect. Let's begin with the storage. The storage, 6 tileable shulker box loading modules. The latest technology provides
Shulker-Box-Loader sind aber eigentlich ganz geil, muss ich sagen. Davon könnten wir mal ein paar mit integrieren in die One-Block-Welt.
The storage is the perfectly efficient device. Reserved only for the elite, this storage is not for the faint of heart.
Get yours today by calling 7189. Side effects of calling this number may include sweating, increased blood pressure, mood changes, anxiety, feeling nervous or irritable, trouble sleeping, headache, dizziness.
After collecting the items for the basic storage, we came to our first real problem. The 23,000 concrete I need.
Das ist schon viel.
Alright, and here we are.
Aber da könnte auf ein Video gespannt sein, was in den nächsten 2 Wochen wahrscheinlich kommt. Da kommt ein gutes Video für euch zu. Traut mir mal.
Wait a minute, we have a little. I checked around my world and was able to find a few shulker boxes full of concrete. Looks like we gotta go to the end to get some concrete powder. If you didn't know, I have a concrete duper in the end that makes collecting the powder really easy. And after getting all...
Da könnt ihr mir gerne mal in die Kommentare schreiben, ob ihr diese Sand-Duper oder Concrete-Duper, ob ihr das fühlt oder nicht, weil ich bin auch am Überlegen, ob ich davon mir einen in die One-Block-Welt stelle, weil dann geht das halt über viele Sachen halt relativ schnell oder schneller, sagen wir es mal so.
23,000 powder, I took a trip to my concrete converter. Now that the largest item was ticked off of our list, it was time for the next 2 items. At first, 17,850 redstone might seem impossible to collect, but when you remember that I have a raid farm that produces thousands of redstone an hour, collecting that much shouldn't be an issue. While we're here, let's talk about Raid. No, not this one, but Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
I'm currently not sponsored by them, but you see from much if you went down how much we get.
Weg damit.
In total, mining
Kann die Werbung nicht mehr
the
sehen.
grass took about 1.5 hours. Cool.
Auch wenn er noch
now
nicht
time for the next
sponsert wird,
item,
aber
the glass. I need 2 separate types of glass. 9,900 glass panes and 5,443 glass blocks. How much does that mean in total? Yes. I quickly went around and collected all of the glass I already had.
Das reicht doch, oder?
After realizing I didn't have enough, I gathered some sand and took a trip to my ocean base where I have an insane super smelter.
Der Super Smelter. Na klar.
Now that we got all the glass, we gotta go to the end dimension again to go to our Wither Rose farm. Great, this can be crafted into dye, and then we gotta turn all of this glass into black stained glass. After collecting items for literally hours, I knew I was almost there. First of all, I need some ice. I remembered that once in a stream, I had found a frozen ocean where I had mined a ton of ice.
Ja, na so right
biegen, na klar, man gönnt sich ja sonst nix. I could not remember where that ocean was, so I vigorously rewatched the stream and then found the location. Well, now, if you remember from earlier, there were 2 more massive items that I needed to collect that were seriously difficult. The first was 18,000 sugarcane, which, like, what the heck? I need a farm to get the sugarcane to make this farm.
Ja.
Putting
Sag
that
ich ja.
aside, the absolute worst item I needed was 17,600 pistons. At first glance, you might not realize why that is so bad. Well, look at the recipe for crafting a single piston. 3
so
wood,
schlimm ist das jetzt
1
auch nicht, da gibt's
redstone,
schlimmere
1
Rezepte.
iron, and 4 cobble. Multiply each of those by 17,600 and you get 52,800 wooden planks,
Ja, schon viel.
17,600
Redstone
redstone,
geht.
17,600 iron,
Eisen
and
easy und Cobblestone eigentlich auch
7,400
easy. So
cobblestone.
schwierig ist es nicht. Du brauchst halt bloß eine Weile, um das Ganze
world records aren't
abzucraften.
supposed to be easy. I took a trip to my iron farm to see how much iron I had. Please say we have extra iron. While I was there, I also saw that I had a lot of wood stored up. That checked off the wood required, but I noticed I still didn't have enough iron. I checked my old iron farm and saw that there was a bit more. Then I traveled to the nuclear base and I found some more iron, and that might just be enough. Moving on to the 70,000 cobblestone needed, I made this farm a long time ago. Good thing, because I seem to use it in every single video. This farm produces 120,000 cobble per hour, which means it only needs to run for a few minutes to get enough. After over 10 hours of collecting items, I knew I was almost there. It was just time to craft the pistons.
Auf jeden Fall ein Pain, die ganzen Pistons abzucraften. Man muss ja die ganze Maschine auch noch bauen. Das dauert halt eine Weile.
I didn't tell you there was one final item I left out. 1.3 million honey blocks.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Ah ja, wollte ich gerade sagen, so viel brauchst du doch für diese Wand gar nicht.
Getting that many honey blocks is still pretty challenging because it requires 1,064 honey bottles. I know just what a honey farm. I went over to the nuclear mega base where I previously moved some bees. After getting everything ready, I spent a few days breeding bees and crafting new hives until I had exactly 64 beehives full of 3 bees each. Jeez, that is a lot of beehives. From there, I found a bee farm on the internet and quickly built it.
Leitmatiker, na klar.
They're all angry with me? No. Oh dear. That could have been a lot worse. Okay, well anyways, it's time to collect a bunch of honey blocks. Now I was ready. I had spent around 15 hours collecting 127,000 items. Now it was time to build the farm. I found a nice area of land in the middle of the desert and then quickly terraformed it into the correct shape. That is the storage completed. Now we gotta build a massive glass wall. Now it's time to move on to the first layer. That took just a couple of seconds for you, but a few hours for me. I can't believe we have to build this 9 more times. Actually, wow, look at how much this is making already. As I built more and more layers, I got better at building each of them and the time went down.
Ja, irgendwann kannst du das halt auswendig, wenn du jedes Mal die gleiche Ebene
baust. I was
baust.
able to build the 5th layer in an hour and 45 minutes. While building this farm, I questioned my life decisions. We can just say that I had a mini midlife crisis. As I got to the final few layers, I decided to live stream the process.
Also es ist halt Fakt, wenn du halt viel Zeit für eine bestimmte Sache investierst in Minecraft, da wirst du halt verrückt mit.
And then, after over 15 hours of building, I was down to the final layer. Final few blocks, and then, we don't need to go that high. Here it is, and I'm done. No, man. I was too tired to be excited. It was official. I had set the new world record for the largest ever sugarcane farm. The place produces 54,000 sugarcane per hour, and then it all goes down into this amazing wall of honey, which makes it incredibly satisfying. After that, it's collected and then put into shulker boxes. What did this all cost? About 35 hours of my life, some of my sanity, and 1 Apple commercial. Hey, did you enjoy the video? If so, it would mean so much if you
gutes Video von WUNBA. Wie gesagt, lasst sehr gerne ein Abo auf dem Kanal da und liked gerne das Video. Ist verlinkt und wir sehen uns.